Hey, this is Sam with TV, and today we're heading out to go see Marvel's
Shang-Chi.
Or Shang-Chi, depending on how you want to pronounce it, and we're going to let you know how it is. So hang around, we're going to do a review. Hey, so we're back. This is Sam with TV, and to my right, or your left,
is me.
That's Bub.
Yeah.
And so today we're going to be talking about Shang-Chi.
Legend of the One Knife.
Not really that, but it's Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings. So we went and saw that. And this is going to be a little review, a little bit of everything.
We're going to have the trailer footage up here for some reason.
Yeah, we're going to play the trailer footage as we're talking. All the good stuff.
There was certainly a lot of Shang-Chi and a lot of Ten Rings.
All right, so we're going to do a little review of the movie, and we're going to tell you what we thought about it. And then after that, we're going to do some spoilers. So a little review, and then we're going to tell you some spoilers here at the end of it. What do you think, Bub? What'd you think of the movie total, overall? What were your thoughts?
It was all right.
Just all right?
Yeah.
On the scale of all right and being like amazing on the Avengers scale, what would you think?
All right, so on a scale of Batman versus Superman to the Suicide Squad, it'd probably be more in the middle.
So ranking on like the Avengers scale from like Iron Man 1 and Avengers Infinity War. So where would you scale it?
Well, wouldn't the scale be a bad movie, great movie, and then
no, scale it from there. From Iron Man to Avengers Infinity War, from like that scale movie, and let's see where it lands in between those movies, and then you could say.
But how do you scale a movie?
Easy.
You that's not how a movie ranking scale goes. That's not how you scale a movie.
Okay, great movies. Great, go from like good to bad. Okay, on the scale of 1 to 10 Tuscans, what would you rate?
Probably 5 out of 10 Tuscans with a Jawa.
5 out of 10.
So it's like a 5.5.
So
it's just average, to me at least.
Okay, so you think it's average. So what made you think it was just average?
It's nothing that blows my mind. It's just kind of like, oh, it's okay. You know, one major problem I have is not the characterization of the Mandarin, but what they do with the Mandarin in the third act. That severely hinders the third act. And overall, the movie's pacing is kind of weird. The first act is paced very fast after it does the Mandarin flashback. Then the third act is very slow with the pacing. And the story structure overall was just kind of weird. Not bad, but just different. And there was just a few things that are kind of like, oh, that's strange. Like there's one major plot hole that I don't remember the movie explaining. It's been 3 days, so I could be wrong. So if I'm wrong, yell at me in the comments that I won't read. That plot hole involves a spoiler character who I was glad to see. Also, like all the other villains besides Mandarin kind of suck.
I'm gonna have to disagree. I'm gonna have to give this movie a 8 out of 10 Tuscans with the Jawa seal of approval. And I'm gonna say I think it was a good Marvel movie. I think it was 100 times better than Black Widow. Black Widow.
It's certainly the best thing made from Phase 4 because everything in Phase 4 has sucked.
I think it's the best Phase 4 we got
of quality. Phase 4 has.
I think they did a good job with the storyline. I think they did a good job with explaining the huge amount of information in like the time frame it had, and I think they explained like how his background happened and how everything was perpetrated throughout the story. So I thought they did a really good job. So my plus sides were the fight scene cinematography. I thought was really good. I saw some people saying that it was probably the greatest kung fu movie ever made. No, it's not. No. Trust me.
Just because I have seen a logo on it doesn't mean.
Yeah, I have seen tons of martial arts movies, and it doesn't compare. Like if you're into like 13 Assassins, which is one of my favorite martial art movies, that is like the top. That's like the top dog. And this movie doesn't even come close.
Shang-Chi is nothing like The Raid.
Yeah, it's nothing like... Okay, yeah. So 13 Assassins, The Raid, those two are like, of modern Kung Fu movies, those two are like my top two. And
those two are like what most movies want to be.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to talk about a movie that was as close to The Raid as possible would be the new remake. No, would be the remake of Judge Dredd. So Dredd. That's the closest thing I've seen so far. It's been to that. But yeah, I thought storyline was good. I thought everything... The costumes were good. I thought the actors were really good in this movie. Could have been better. Yes.
Some of the CGI was jank at
some
points.
Of the CGI wasn't
like
so good.
The bus scene, whenever the bus splits in half, the CGI was a little questionable.
Abomination was a little bit weird. I thought it was a little weird, but overall I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good. So I'm gonna give it. What did I give it? 7. 7 or 8. So 8.
With a seal of approval from the judge.
So Jaw was seal of approval. So that's what I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna go with the 8. I don't think it was like the best Marvel movie ever made. They're really hard to beat. Some of those 9s, but I do think it performed really well. I think it did a really good job of telling the story.
It's competent, which is more than I can say about most of modern Marvel after Avengers 4.
Because let's just say Black Widow was, to me, there was
awful.
there were some good actors in the movie, but there wasn't.
In Black Widow, there's a few little nuggets of gold in there.
Yeah, there was.
In a wave of crap.
It was Black Widow to me was awful. It really was. That was an awful movie. But
there's only 2 parts I liked, and also if the Disney Plus shows, those are don't get me. The only one of the Disney Plus show that so far hasn't been laughably.
Let's talk about. I want to talk about the here for a second. I want to talk about the actor who played the Mandarin, Wenwu, the character Wenwu as well. Man, I think he did a great job in that movie.
Definitely one of the best MCU villains.
Yeah,
Not
he was
it's
so
high
good.
Of a bar to complete, but it's definitely in the top 5.
He was good. Like his
probably
even the fight scenes, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe majority of these fight scenes were performed by the actors themselves because even.
Oh yeah, I know for at least Shang-Chi. I don't remember his name. I think it's Simu Liu or something like that. Mm-hmm. He did most of the fight scenes.
Yeah, and then I can't remember her name, but the one that plays the sister, the aunt in the movie, she is from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragons, and I know that she does a lot of her own stunts. So it's kind of cool to see these actors back, especially actors from overseas portraying some characters that you would. I mean, I would never have thought I would have saw Shang-Chi on the movies, and it's kind of hard because I've always said Shang-Chi like forever. Even Bub knows I've said Shang-Chi wrong.
I call it Shang-Chi just because it annoys people.
But it's Shang-Chi. So watching the movie, I'm like, okay, Shang-Chi, I got to say it the right way. So yeah, I've been saying it the right way now. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty good. You thought it was okay. I thought it was pretty good. I'm actually going to recommend you guys to go see it. If you want to see a Marvel movie in the theaters and you want to see a decent movie that's out right now.
If you want to see something good, watch The Suicide Squad. Although it's no longer in theaters or HBO Max, but
it's not on HBO Max still?
No, they moved it to, I think it was today.
So it's just in theaters now?
No.
It's just off.
Yeah, it's off.
Okay, well you can't go see that movie, but
if you could
Suicide
travel back in time and watch it,
I'd Suicide Squad I thought was excellent, and then I also thought this movie was excellent, The Legend of the Ten Rings. So now we're gonna go into some spoilers. So this is a spoiler alert for all you guys out there. So we're just gonna go ahead.
If you don't want to know,
you don't want to know, you want to see the movie, go ahead and watch the movie, then come back and watch this, and you tell us what you think. I mean, I don't know if you can really see them, but I have Wenwu here.
Show him a little bit.
Yeah,
closer.
I mean, he probably won't even pick up here, but it's a repaint.
You can just put a picture on it.
I got him. Of course, he's the pop. He's the dad, so I got him. He's looking pretty awesome. It's pretty sweet.
I painted it to make it look better.
Yeah, he painted it to make it look better. And I'll probably post a picture of that here. That's Wenwu, the Mandarin right here. And I think it's funny because there's some couple spots that he kind of makes fun of, like the way he's named. And then he's got Shang-Chi over here, and kind of see him up, not in front of the earring.
I don't know.
Bam, there he is, and he's repainted. His bub is repainted. So he's got.
I did a black wash on it.
Yeah, he did a black wash on it, and so customized. But here's what I was gonna say, dude. You guys comment below because I'm gonna give away this something sweet. I'm gonna give away the Jackal and Hyde, the right arm, and the cane. So if you guys, anybody wants this that collects the Marvel Legends, hit me up in the comments or DM me on Instagram, and I'm gonna give this to you. If you're in the U.S., I'm gonna send this to you. Okay, so. Hey, let me know. I'll get you this. But here we go to spoilers right now.
Yep.
So we're going to go into it. Hit us with the first spoiler you want to hit us with.
All right. Fin Fang Foom sucked. People will probably say, who's Fin Fang Foom? Well, Fin Fang Foom, he's an Iron Man villain. He's a classic villain. He's kind of stupid, but I love him. He's a big purple dragon, or not purple. He's a big green dragon in purple pants that's from the middle of the earth. Even though his name isn't said in the movie, I am 99.9% sure that the Great Devourer or whatever at the end of the movie
you think that was him?
is MCU Fin Fang Foom.
So he just jumped right into it. He jumped right into the main bad guy at the end of the movie.
It's like, because, I mean, it's a big green dragon that has a very similar kind of like face, kind of not like facial structure, but like head design with like the crest.
Yeah.
With wings, it's very clearly green. It's very clearly meant to be MCU Fin Fang Foom. And if this is MCU Fin Fang Foom, it sucked and I hate it. With the inclusion of Fin Fang Foom, it completely destroys the third act of the movie because the entire movie spends all of its time building up the Mandarin as a villain, only to kill him off in an incredibly awful death. And like, oh, I guess there goes the main threat you built up for this new crappy threat that you introduced in the last portion of the movie. It's like an anticlimactic use of Mandarin. Why spend so much time building up the relationship between Mandarin and Shang-Chi just to throw it away? It'd be like if you had Ego in Star-Lord's relationship in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, only to kill off Ego and then introduce another bad guy. Or have like Aisha be the main villain of the movie instead of Ego.
Well, one thing I liked about like the movie myself is like I liked how, so we have the Mandarin, aka Wenwu, and one of the scenes that I actually really liked when he's explaining his backstory, and he's talking about how he was named after an orange. So he's like, you use me to terrorize people, and you named me after an orange.
Well, the name of the Mandarin is that comes from something else.
Yeah, but he was like, he said, yeah, you named me after a chicken dish, and he said something about being an orange, and I just thought that was funny. There's another part in this movie that
I did like how they brought back Trevor.
Oh man, so Trevor, yeah. So so Trevor's back in this movie. If you guys don't know who Trevor is, where you been? That's all I gotta say. Where you been?
Or Trevor Slattery.
Yeah, so he comes back. I mean, I had no idea. I mean, I guess you knew that he was going to be in the movie, but I didn't know he was going to be in the movie.
Ben Kingsley was at the premiere.
Yeah,
and so I was like, oh, that means he's in it.
So, and then you kind of think, okay, well, maybe he's going to have a small part. No, pretty big part in this movie.
I thought they would just have like a scene of the Mandarin killing him or something like that, and just like, oh, there's the old Mandarin, he's dead, here's the new one.
And so he's in the movie, so they introduce him, and at the same time, you get introduced to Morris.
The big old walking plot hole.
So the headless chicken looking cat thing. What is it? We don't know, but he was still pretty cool. But so Morris comes in.
I did like the joke of he is surprised they saw Morris because he just thought
he thought he was going crazy. Yeah, so Trevor thought he was going to go crazy.
He just thought he was talking to an hallucination for 10 years.
Yeah, so that was pretty awesome to see Trevor back into the movies.
The moment they were in that like prison block and there was like yelling, I was like, yep, that's him.
Yeah, because you just hear him in the background. He's like making like I guess vocal noises. You know, he's like practicing, you know, for whatever. I think he's like Macbeth or Hamlet he was trying to do. And so that was pretty cool. And another surprise character for me that I didn't think I was going to like at all, and I liked the whole lot, I really did, was Awkwafina as Katie. I really liked her character. I mean, I was thoroughly surprised with that character. I was like, wow, like for real. I thought they did a really good job building up her, like what she likes to do in the movie. So like, they can't see that. It's like, he put Katie sucks. Do you see that? That's awful. I thought she was awesome.
She's all right.
I thought she was fine.
I don't think she's bad. She's just
he thinks she's just there. It's like she's just okay.
Plus, it's also like her story arc is kind of like rushed because like she suddenly now mastered archery and also kills Fin Fang Foom. They build up to it like how she doesn't really know what she's doing, you know. And I like that, but it was like up to the execution of it. You probably should have had more of her learning how to do archery before she killed Fin Fang Foom.
I mean, I can kind of see that, but they did a lot like explain like, you know, she's a jack of all trades but a master of none. Like, you know what I mean? So she knew a little bit of like everything, but she wasn't like, she couldn't ever pinpoint like one thing that she wanted to do. And so she would always like jump in and try different stuff, but she was never like a master of that one thing. Actor for Wenwu was awesome. I liked him as the Mandarin. Cool. He was really cool.
Made the Mandarin good.
So they had like several years where they had child actors playing Shang-Chi, and I think those kids are really good. Yeah, and his sister. And what was his sister's name?
I know Ling is the end, but
yeah,
the first part of it is like spelled like XIA.
Yeah, I think it's like Shang Ling and Shang Lao. And she was awesome too, and then I ended up totally hating her at the end of the movie.
She kind of sucked in the movie.
I thought she was all right. I thought she was okay.
She's just there. You don't really.
Yeah, so you
don't do anything with her, and it's like, oh, you killed off the Mandarin just to replace him with her as the leader of the Ten Rings. It's like I would have just rather had the Mandarin stick around because he was a compelling villain.
Yeah, because the whole thing is like, so Shang Li leaves her, he abandons her, she goes on her own, and she lives with her dad, and her dad's a tyrant over her, and she ended up going and starting her own, like,
so they put some
fight club.
They put like some cringy, like, oh, he didn't want her to be a warrior because she was like a woman or whatever. And
it's like really traditional to what the beliefs are in their system. So, he was designed to be the warrior, and the girl was designed to like just be in the back. Like, he didn't want her to be a part of that. And then she comes out on her own, does her own thing, and starts the fight club stuff. And so one thing about the fight club stuff that I actually did like, so there's a scene where, and it's even in the trailer, so you can see it in the trailer. So there's a scene in the trailer wherever
they really need to explain how that fight club was made.
Yeah, but they don't really say, but
because like how is Abomination out of the raft? Because the last time,
yeah, and then how is Wong there with Abomination?
And why
like,
is
so
Wong
they're like
there,
tight.
and why is he friends with
I have a feeling they're gonna explain all that like later. And for some reason, I'm thinking like Eternals was supposed to come out before this movie.
No, I think this movie was always meant to come up before
I don't think so. I think Eternals was supposed to come out before this, so I think some of that explanation is going to be in between that. But there's one scene like Shang-Chi, they're like telling him, he's like in a fight scene, he says, hey, take off your shirt, and he's like, why didn't you take off my shirt?
Is this scene in the trailer or in the movie?
Oh yeah, this scene's in the movie, this part right here. So like I have it on the screen.
That's him in the fight club.
Yeah, so this is like the fight club, and he takes off his shirt, and if you guys know the comics, Shang-Chi, he never has his shirt on.
Or that's one of his main comic designs.
Yeah, it's like his like main comic design, and it's like, of course, he has like the bandana on, and he has like no shirt. So I thought that was funny. They did a little throwback.
I think it would have been better if they had it where he had like red pants, and they're like, "Hey, put on this bandana."
Yeah, that would have been funny.
So you could have like, "Oh, this is
you would have both
design,
of them,
and then this is like his real design for the movie."
So I thought that was pretty cool. Whenever that happened, so Death Dealer,
Death Dealer sucked.
Yeah, Death Dealer was they made it. I was really disappointed with that character.
They put him
effort
like
into like marketing, so
stuff, and it's like, oh, he just dies.
Yeah, the trailer, the marketing, everything. So Death Dealer's like all over the place, and then like he's like in the movie just for like
he has 2 scenes, for like 5
a little
minutes.
bit. It's like he's like maybe like 7-10 minutes into it, and he's like boom, he's gone. He's out. It's like he's dead.
What they should have done is that you have 3 main villains and you have 3 main characters, and yet the movie didn't make it where each villain had their own character to fight.
Yeah.
You should have had it where Shang-Chi fights Mandarin, like that's his villain counterpart. Katie's villain counterpart is like Death Dealer. His sister's counterpart is Razor Fist. Like what's the point of having Death Dealer and Razor Fist even though they don't do anything?
I mean, it was cool. I mean, like there's a lot of parts that I liked about this movie. One thing they really didn't explain a whole lot, it kind of divulged it a little bit, was like the 10 rings. So like they talked about his 10 rings, and the 10 rings, is that going to tie into the Eternals? And it's talking about how one of the rings was like sending a homing signal back.
Or as they say
in Wong. So that was like on the credit scenes, post-credit scenes. So post-credit scenes.
I have on here implications of the post-credit scene. From what I remember in the comics, they never really say where the 10 rings are from. They just say, hey, the Mandarin was like in the jungle. He found an alien spaceship and found 10 rings in it, and that's how he got the 10 rings.
Yeah, there's actually
in the movie, they have a very similar thing where it's like, oh, he has the 10 rings. No one knows where they're from. People think it's either from a tomb or he just found them. And
yeah,
so they're very mysterious as to where they're from. And in the movie, it confirms they are alien.
Yeah, they say that that he found them. But in the comic books, I believe he stole them. They were like from an alien ship, and they belonged to like, I don't know if they're just like Celestials or...
No, in Comic Mandarin, to my extent of knowledge, there's never like an explanation as to what race. They're like, it crashed on Earth, they died. They have these 10 rings that he finds, he puts them on, he's like, hey, I can use these. And it's like, you never really gone much into.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like the MCU will be tying the 10 rings into something else.
I think they will. I think it's going to tie it in across like different...
I think it'll be either Celestial or I think it's the Shira Empire.
I think it's going to be more probably Celestials than anything. So... Well, hey, you know what? Hey, comment below. Say, tell us what you think. Do you think these, like, who are these going to go to?
Well, the reason,
what do you think?
I don't think they'll be Celestial. I think there's a chance that could be, but the reason I don't think is that the Celestials have a very distinct design style. The Celestials have kind of this like very alien line kind of like hologram design its weapons.
They kind of left it open-ended.
Like with the Celestials on the trailer, like the one character who creates like weapons from her hands or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If like the Celestials designs are all very kind of translucent lines that create kind of like clear objects and stuff. the 10 rings are very clear, like metal and like gold and bronze, and they have some sort of like energy inside of them.
That train, like, I mean, obviously they go inside of them. It's almost like
like the power like bleeds through the rings into the person.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, think of like Tony Stark when he's getting the Infinity Stones, and he like that's what kills him off. That's kind of like what's going on with Wenwu when he's a Mandarin, or when he has the voices talking to him. So when
the voices are from the Soul Devourer.
Yeah, so the Soul Devourer is like communicating to him, but I think the reason that they're getting to him is because he actually has the rings on.
No, they say like the reason that they're talking to him is because he has the rings, and the rings are powerful enough to break him out, but it's not because the rings are talking to him. And
what was the name of the dragon that's in the water?
The Great Protector.
The Great Protector. And I actually thought he was really cool. Just as
I think it's a she.
She. He or is she. It? I'm not sure.
I think they call her. I think if they call it like, oh, she protects us or something.
And it was, I'm going to say that was one of the coolest dragons. I've seen a lot of like martial art films. That's like one of these. Dragon. Yeah, but it's one of the coolest Chinese dragons I've seen on film. Like the way it came up and it flew in and it swam in the water. It was actually really cool to see. They did a really good, I'm going to say they did a really good job on the dragon. I really do. It looked really, really cool. To me, it did. And I've seen a lot of movies like that with use of a dragon, and they did a really good job. Now, was it like practical effects? Never ending story good? Not really, but it was still good. It was. I actually liked it. It was really cool.
I guess this means MCU. Fing Fang Foom is an alien.
Maybe. If that's what they're using it as, but I don't know if they're. Do you think? You said before that's who you think it's supposed to be.
It looks. If it's not Fing Fang Foom, it's very clearly heavily based off of Fing Fang Foom.
Yeah, I think they kind of like just did one that was kind of based off of it and not really.
I'm pretty sure it is meant to be him. They just didn't use the name because the name's kind of ridiculous. Although it's kind of like you could have just called him Foom the Devourer.
There's a lot of aspects I did like with the dragon, the use of the dragon.
One thing I do like is how for Fing Fang Foom's design, they kind of went with like this alien cosmic horror design where he's like a lot of like tentacles and like not really a face and like this weird kind of like flesh mound for a face that just has like fangs or whatever.
Yeah.
And has like this weird kind of like cross design. I do like that, how he was kind of like a cosmic horror alien like creature, but it's like, again, you don't really use it much. And it's like, that's such a cool idea for Fing Fang Foom. Take him from Dragon from Earth, like a space monster, and you just kind of throw it away. And you don't really like elaborate on it. And
that's one thing they didn't really elaborate. Yeah, so they didn't really elaborate on it.
Like and when they get to the village or whatever, they're like, "Oh yeah, there's this monster here, and you're gonna fight it," And they don't really. It's like, "Oh, I guess this is the villain now." Even though you spent all the movie setting up Mandarin as the villain,
you're kind of right. That third act was kind of a little. Yeah, it was a little wonky.
It's like
a little bit.
It's like you spend all this time building up Mandarin. And he's like a personal threat. So, there's like emotion. There's like, it's a personal like fight between father and son. And then at the end, it's like, it's very impersonal. It's like, I have to kill it because it's going to kill everyone. So it's like, I'm just doing my job,
Yeah. Yeah, I can kind of see it. It was kind of like, it felt like it was kind of going through this like storytelling motion. That was kind of,
it's like they're
a little tired. It felt a little tired.
They're like,
bit.
Oh, well, it's a superhero movie, so
let's just throw it in.
So we have to have a CGI monster at the end.
Yeah, so I just want
how Batman vs Superman throws Doomsday at the end because like, we have to have the CGI fight.
Yeah, the big CGI fight. You always gotta have it.
It would have been so much better if it was just like the final battle was just Shang-Chi and Mandarin doing a martial arts fight to the death.
I think the reason that they didn't do that is because this storyline was, to me, felt very similar to like the Black Panther storyline. Except for instead of a long brother,
Black Panther, they didn't kill off Killmonger.
Yeah, true.
That'd be like if you killed off Killmonger and had Mane become the villain, or M'Baku.
So, I want to talk about this. I got this scene up real quick. I'm going to talk about this.
Oh, I did.
So there's Katie in a bus.
I really like the bus fight.
But oh man, so I can't really show you this other picture. So there's a guy that sits right here.
Oh, that's the same guy who asked Spider-Man to do a flip in Homecoming.
Yeah. So if you watch
the do a flip guy.
So if you watch that, so there's a guy. He's a commentator. And he's like recording the fight scene.
Yeah, I like how they completely cut to his like, hey guys.
He's like he's streaming like live. That dude like stole the scene. That's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. That was pretty cool.
There was a lot of good comedy parts.
Yeah, they did a really good job with it.
Whenever they're like, oh, we should probably go home or whatever, and they're like, nah, hard's cut to them at the karaoke place.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And then they do it at the end with Wong. Where like, we have to do something responsible, and it hard cuts to that. Or, yeah, so like, I thought that was really cool. I like how they did that. It was fun.
They did some really good scenes that were really fun. I think overall, I think this is a solid start to a pretty good franchise if they're going to do one for Shang-Chi. So I think I'm excited to see some more releases. If it's anything like Shang-Chi, if it's anything like Black Widow, that's not an MCU I'm ready to get into.
Oh, that's the MCU that they're making.
Yeah, and it's not one I'm like really excited about.
That's why I'm not really invested, because I'm like, after Endgame, I don't really care, you know? Because all these movies seem like complete messes that will just be fan service. Like with the multiverse. Don't get me wrong, I love the multiverse, but almost every single time it's used for, oh, remember this old thing you like? We're just going to bring it back instead of doing something new.
Yeah.
Which that's basically what No Way Home is going to be. And that's the only reason I'm going, because I want to see the old things that I like more than the new crap.
Yeah, I'm excited about the new Spider-Man, and I'm gonna say that I did enjoy this movie. I did enjoy this movie.
I say be afraid for that movie because it has the same writers as Ant-Man and the Wasp and Far From Home.
And I like those movies, so it's nothing wrong with me. I'm gonna like it. Well,
you're happy with most things.
I am. I'm the type of person I like try to see like all the positive things. Even sometimes the movie's bad, sometimes to a fault. But I really enjoyed this movie. I really did. I don't know what did you guys think? I'd like to hear what some of the comments, from other people, like what they thought about this movie. I'm positive all the time. Bub's kind of like on that.
Everything.
He kind of hates everything sometimes. But I mean, I enjoyed it. I really did. I enjoyed this movie.
Also, the post-credit scene has heavy implications for Professor Hulk because Banner is.
Oh yeah, because you have Banner. He has a little tiny arm.
I have mixed opinions on it because I'm kind of like, this is character aggression, but at the same time, when the character progression sucked, I'm fine with progressing it to do it better this time,
To get you a little bit of action there.
Well, it's because also now he has a normal arm, or he's going to get a normal arm, so maybe that means live action Abomination versus Professor Hulk or Savage Hulk, if they bring him back, might actually happen again. One
thing I was going to say that I really didn't want to see, and that was Brie Larson. Yeah.
The moment I saw her, I was like, oh, I'm no longer interested. She kills the scene.
I don't know.
Like, just every time she's on screen, I just automatically lose interest. So she also looks like she's not interested.
Yeah, so this time she actually didn't look as like non-interested to me. Like other times she felt like she didn't fit. So
she still has her blank, dead-eyed expression like always.
Yes, I mean,
it's like if I'm
not gonna lie. Like when I saw it, I was like, oh no, please don't.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
but to see Bruce Banner is pretty cool, and see Wong up there is pretty cool.
I was like, oh, Wong and Banner. And then I saw Captain. I was like,
yeah, and I was like, what?
I want Banner. I want
Solo,
the characters I like.
Yeah, leave him by himself, like, right?
I
thought the same thing. I was just like, man, come on, why?
It was like,
why?
Get Nebula for the space expert, or Rocket. Why wouldn't they be like, hey, let's call up Rocket, the most intelligent person on the team besides like Banner and Iron Man?
I don't know. I was kind of like this in the same boat as you, man. I was just like, yeah, like, dude, what is going on?
Character, it's like
like why?
I'd rather have Katie in 10,000 more movies than ever see Captain.
So was that the final scene?
No, the final post-credit scene is revealing his sister as the leader of the Ten Rings.
Yeah, so she's like the leader of the Ten Rings. That's the part I didn't like. I was like, yeah, it's like, dude, that was why.
The music was weird, and like the graffiti on the outside was weird.
Yeah,
I was like, I want Mandarin. I don't want. Yeah,
I don't want to see it.
I want Mandarin as the leader of the Ten Rings.
Like, I don't want to see it.
Can we get a proper Mandarin that sticks around for once?
I'm like, dude, are we just getting an evil Ratcatcher too? Like, for real, I was like,
how is she like Ratcatcher too?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it was just like a pass on. You know what I mean? The dad dies, and the legacy passes, and like she just turns it back into like a giant fight ring. It's like,
one thing
is that her ambition? Like, for real, is that all her ambition is? Like, I'm gonna just start a giant fight ring.
Although one thing I will like is they didn't just make it where she automatically gets over her brother abandoning her.
Oh yeah, that was one thing. Held on to it.
That's one thing I was kind of like, I don't know, being abandoned by your older brother, like to basically be abused by your father. That's not really a forgivable thing, or not that easily. And I was kind of like, I don't know how I feel about that. But then at the end, they revealed that she still probably hasn't gotten over it, which that was one thing I did like. That wouldn't make sense if you just got over that super quickly. I'm
going to say right now, though, I actually, once again, I enjoyed this movie, and I recommend you guys go see it.
Oh, your favorite part was Hotel California, right?
Let's not even go there, but it was pretty funny, though. It was pretty funny.
I do like how at the karaoke part, they were singing that song
multiple times,
and then in the credits, that was the song.
Yeah, so I mean, I did enjoy it. So I think we're at a good stopping point, man. And I'm gonna say, hey guys, if you can, drop a like, drop a dislike on this. leave a comment, leave a sub if you guys are interested.
Put a
in watching
comment
some of these.
saying, "Man, this annoying 12-year-old child is I hate them and I want them to leave the show," and that will just inspire me more to become even more awful.
Hey, we appreciate you guys watching. I hope you check out our other videos. Check out our toy hunt videos. Check out our merch at TeePublic, not Teespring.
Not Teespring.
And we only have one design, so we're starting off small.
I'm pretty sure it was Teespring.
No, it's not Teespring.
I'm pretty sure it was. T something.
So go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and throw some comments below. Go ahead and check out our Instagrams. Easy to read name, Tuscan TV or Facebook and Twitter, all the good stuff. Appreciate you guys watching. Always remember, keep your fingers crossed and your eyes peeled, and it's on to the next one.
If you request to follow me, I will deny it.
Boom.